before we proceed, can you indicate that you see my slides? The confirmation, yes, but I'm sure it's visible. Okay, thank you. Well, the democratic. Oh, what is this? Oh man. Okay, it's fine. What's happening? Okay. Study Unit 3, Theories of Democratic Development. Um, before we start, does the democracy have the exact definition? It's like before I organize this study, actually this slide, I've asked myself, does the democracy have the exact definition? You know? So the answer could be yes or no, depending on the context of democracy are you referring to. So okay, I found this what is it? The code from Ablasta, 1987, page 1. He states his viewpoint that democracy is a concept or an abstraction, a term with no single, precise, and agreed meaning. Has had very different meanings and connotation in its long history, and is understood differently today in the context of different social and economic system. I hope that that is clear. Why I'm saying it has a different context. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Okay. Well, yeah, in Africa context, democracy is regarded as a system that people in within the country or a state have the equal political right that they can choose their leaders and remove their leaders through regular, fair, free and fair elections. And most of us, we can ask ourselves, why are we saying free and fair election? So I wrote this thing. So democracy in South Africa is regarded as a constitutional democracy. Why? It has a parliamentary system which with a president as a head of the state and government and a legislature elected by proportional representation and an independent judiciary. Sorry by saying that. Okay. Since 1994, adults had the right to participate in political participation, such as to vote in national and provincial and local election and elect their political parties that will lead them in providing the basic needs for society, like water, basic needs. So yes, that is it. Uh, okay, the second slide. Okay, the third slide. I am briefly just give you the elements of democracy. The democracy has the liberty, which is a freedom of speech, media, and a movement, association, and belief. Again, liberty. Okay. Excuse me for that. Protection from violence and intimidation by state or non-state actor. So again, elements of democracy is the rule of law. Citizens have the rights. Okay, citizens' rights are supposed to be protected, and government rule power is limited. Uh, I'm sure everyone here is aware of why they say government power is limited. Okay, according to the constitution or the higher court, they say no one is above the law. Everyone is equal before the law, innocent until proven guilty. If ever I got arrested, of any charge that might be for me. So I need to be go there before court to appeal for bail if it is possible, and the court have the authority to judge me whether I'm guilty or not. So yes, they indicated again under the rule of law, which is the elements of the democracy that I think all of democracy context is saying. So apologies for that. So court must be independent and impartial. Yes, court must be independent and partial. No one is above the law, meaning that the only rule is ruled by the independent and the partial, which is the court. So again, the elements of democracy is horizontal accountability. Government powers are separated through check and balances. Independent institutions monitor and private abuse of power. Um, in this case, I can think of the public protector, but yeah, I think all of us here we know. So, vertical accountability, the citizens hold leaders accountable for their own actions. Like, but we will discuss this in details. Election allow voters to reward or remove leaders. Okay, the same applies as those election that will be held on the 4th November 2026. We will be able to elect our political parties that will lead in order to deliver those basic needs that we need. Political competition. Well, we know here in South Africa we have more than can say 400 political parties that contest election each and every 5 years of the elections. All of us, we are aware of that. And yes, indeed, the Electoral Independent Committee hold election free and fair. So, but remember on 2024, there was this case that the election was stolen and what. But I think all of us here will context on that, or we will give our view on that. So our political participation should be open to all. Indeed, if you can go to our Constitution of 1996 of the Republic of South Africa, it says, I've got this section. That section it says, everyone has the right to open his or her political party. So okay. I see Mr. Sepang Simon. Can you close your 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 video? Okay, thank you very much. And the state resources must not be abused during the election. So yeah, so vote buying and unfair campaign funding should be prevented. Yes, the voting or the IC must not accept any amount of money. If I as lefa saying no, I have my political party, let me just say, for example, my political party is EFSA, fixed in South Africa, you know. So I say, no, I just want to be the president of this country. President of this country. So I give maybe ISC 1 billion to say, okay, stole those votes for me so that I can be like, yeah, like that's why they say political participation, and there must not be a vote buying. What? A change in government through election must be possible as how the votes are as it is. If we voted for this political party majority, the ISC they know which party won what. So again, we have the public participation. Citizens actively participate in politics and decision making. Remember, these are what elements of discussion. I mean, elements of democracy, right? So if you can go to the stats about the political participation of us as youth, they say are lower, you know. So they don't know why the youth of nowadays are no longer interested in political participating in whenever there is a any kind of community, you are not there. What's happening? It's like, yeah. So that's why in bullet number 2 for public participation is a higher vote turnout is encouraged. So in South Africa, we see a low voter turnout. So that things we need to discuss, everyone. People engage through civil society and public policy service. If in your village or your urban areas there is a community, in Bizo, we should go there and share our views. How should because of they said we are the future of this country, so we have to share the things that we need. So this how the public participation says. Of course, equality. All citizens have equality, political and civil rights. Everyone is treated equality before law. Uh, Minorities must be protected and represented equally. But if you can say nowadays or in South Africa now context, that one it doesn't apply, and we can debate that we don't see equal treat. You can just see that. Okay, I will just make an example between the crisis that our president of the Republic of South Africa is facing, and uh, Sergeant Fanning Kosi and Matlanga. If you can just check, um, Fanning Kosi, they said they found over 100,000 in his apartment, right? Which the person actually is a law. Anyone does not allow it to have over 100,000 or over something. I think it's a 50,000 somewhere there, but you will correct me if I'm wrong. And Ramaphosa matter is that actually the criminals or the those who steal in others' place, they found dollars which didn't declare, as a rent. So you can just see that there is not equality on that. They can just they can't just charge Mr. Van Nkosi, but not charge President of this Republic of South Africa. But we will engage on that, colleagues, and I hope everyone is good. Mine is just to just give everyone participation. Responsive responsiveness. Government response to citizen needs and demands. Remember, these are the elements of democracy. If we can say South Africa is a democratic country, our government must respond to the citizens' needs and demands. But that does not happen since we got the democracy. The water remain crisis. The what is this? Our citizen demands job, but what is this? The state doesn't provide. You know, and I hope every one of you still remember this interview of Kwedemandash and the CPC when he just said, no, we as a youth, we are lazy, we don't apply, but that's not the case. So yes, if you can go to Hamaskral, go to Lephalale, go to shame, Eastern Cape, like those people are, they need they need they have needs and wants, but the government doesn't provide. Even Eastern Cape, I'm so sorry about the Eastern Cape because of they said all of these political leaders are from there, but I don't make any, I don't criticize it, but I just make an example so that they can have a clue on what we say. Does South Africa have the democracy? Yes or no? So yes, okay. The policies should be reflected the interest of people. Yes, each and every policies, the white paper should be reflected to the interest of people. So both majority and minority interest must be considered. So here in South Africa, we don't see that. And all of us, you can attest, last year we have shown that we had a national dialogue, but they didn't invite the ordinary people, they invite the well-known people, but we will get on that. So yeah, take a note, South Africa is a representative democracy. Why? Because the citizens do not directly exercise power themselves. They select leaders through election and they rule on their behalf. This type of rule establish a link between the government and the governed. Yes, South Africa, we as a citizen, we don't exercise power by ourselves. We have to go to the leader who is leading us. Okay, the leader should rule on our behalf. If we need this, is the leader who decide whether he rule or not. Okay. Yeah. That is it. I think now I will just stand here as I have made the foundation. Then my brother Liema will just enter. But before I go to my brother Liema to take us through the theories about democratization and on competitive democratization. Mm, there's any view, question, any addition or any kind of a suppression on say no lefa, you didn't say any that what you have just said is not aligned to what. So I'm also a person. So my brother, you can end. Thank you.
Before I enter, I have a question of my own. I didn't quite hear you clearly on the matter you were saying about Eastern Cape. Can you just double back on that if you don't mind?
Okay. Uh, yeah. It's just that I'm disciplined by this thing.
Okay, I can wait.
Yeah. Yes. Well. Okay. Let me just go to the slide so that I can just say what. Okay. I think it was the elements of democracy on equality when they say no. It's yeah. It is. I said yeah. All citizens have equality, equal political and civil rights. No, no. I was saying on responsiveness, government response to citizens' needs and wants. Right. Yes. I was mentioning the Eastern Cape. In places like the Alfred Nzo district, or Tambo district, like those are the rural settlements, right? And if you go to the news, they always say, no, we are waiting for Hulumende. Hulumende doesn't give us the water, the pure water, as NAM savings here and so forth. Like I was mentioning that there is a lack of basic savings, the running water, the electricity. Most of the way I've searched it here, there's it OR Tambo District and Alfred Nzo. remain have limited access to health care, remain yeah healthcare, and I don't I hope what is this place? There was this place drinking. I think it's a 2 years previously when they say when someone is dead, other side you have to what is this to it's like it's tough, but I will just go there and check my full information. I hope I've
Okay.
answered your question or no.
Eh, ma'am wants to speak. Ma'am Hlololoto, you may come aboard.
Hi everyone. This is a question for Mr. Nkadimeng. Um, I want to ask, since while we can see that democracy isn't really working out well for the country, and we are not really sure where the current coalition government will lead us. Do you think that um, the private sector would benefit us? Because I don't know if you've noticed, but they are slowly integrating themselves into government institutions, more especially home affairs, for example. Like now you can um, ap- apply and get your ID at banks, I think. Yeah, so I just wanted to ask about that. Like, what's your point of view?
Okay, thank you. Yes. Okay. Private sector. Private sector. Yes. I think on my view, I think they will benefit a lot because of they have what is it? Okay, in case of what is this employment, they can help the state or the public sector to have a skill in some skills that they don't have. Like medical medical insurance is like just that I'm keeping forgetting these things. But I will say yes, they will benefit in our in our society and make sure that they create jobs, the jobs like farming and mining sector if it is possible. But yeah, that is my response, ma'am. And that is a tough question for me, but I believe I've said something.
Okay. No, I just wanted to hear your thoughts on it because I think it has its advantages and disadvantages. Like you just mentioned the advantages right now. Like there'll be more like higher employment, but I think the disadvantage would be the more the private sector starts having some sort of control in the government, I think it can affect citizens to an extent, because I think, for example, the private sector, I would think of it as Rupert. So if he's gonna have certain power like that, then I think as citizens, we are going to lose our voice in a way, you know? I don't know if you get me.
Yes, yes, I do get you. Yes, the profit driven will be inequality, and since we have mentioned Rupert, the monopoly, whereas some of our political parties says they are the socialists, they want to eliminate or to to reduce these bourgeoisies who owns the means of the land, I mean, which is factories and industries and the minerals. So I think yes, you have given me the light so that it is I don't know if you can put it in a balanced way where but in the same time it's a higher risk, a higher risk. It's a higher risk in terms of public funding and whatsoever. So, but thank you for raising that matter, man. I truly appreciate that because I'm learning too also, you know. To I'll always learn. So thank you very much for that. And I don't know, guys, what is your view on the private sector? Should we private sector take, or should we include the private sector in public sector? Or I don't know. What is your view? Because of all of us here, we have something to say. You can just raise your hand, then we'll just see you then. Okay, Liavona. I see your hand, Liavona and Mr. Liam. Thank you.
Evening, everyone. No, regarding the private sector's infiltration of government and everything, I want to make an example to the city of Cape Town itself. The DA has a habit of exporting everything when it comes to any issue that the city faces. They look towards private sector, not even South African private sector, outside companies to fund, to fix, to engineer. The Stellenbosch municipality it's a bunch of water filtration centers and stuff have been redesigned, rebuilt, and being engineered by outside forces. So the private sector infiltrating government has a lot of, yes, good to it, as you had said, but as well as ma'am had said, she it has a lot of bad negatives to it, because it would mean that there will be less South African owned enterprises, entities, and businesses just in general, because now everything is now outsourced to the private sector. It would mean we'd fall prey to whatever the private sector's prices have set. Like anything, we do not have a dynamic pricing, because it's not catered for the working government funded business. It's catered towards the private sector, which has been able to accumulate millions or billions through different investments and such. So I see it more as a negative, that the private sector is infiltrating the way that it is.
Okay. I've heard you, ma'am, Mister. Sorry for saying ma'am. Yeah. I'll respond on that, Mr. Liam. Mr. Liam.
Oh, pardon. I was talking and I didn't even realize my mic is still off. Um, I was saying, why are you confusing people's genders? And moving on to that point, um, I was saying I like what ma'am said and what my minister that just spoke now before me said. The question that I pose to everyone, including yourself, Mr. President, is that what if everything that the government is doing and the democratic laws that have been developed is not, or let me put it in this way, they were not designed to help us people who were oppressed by the apartheid government, but rather to still benefit the people that were in control of those states. Because if you look at it, um, but let me just say this for my safety. In any case, I am not racist to anyone. I love all races. God knows that. But to state the matter of the fact that is the truth is we are living in a democratic society that is not democratic to us. Yes, the media, the way the politicians are putting it and labeling it, and the way that they've displayed it on the outside life, it looks like we are in democracy, but we are not. Because how does this even how is this even possible? What I'm about to say. We have about what 10% white people in this country, right? And let's say the 80% is what black people, and the another 10. Okay, let me break it. Okay, let me put it in this way. 100%, right? From 100 to minus the 10%. You take that 10%, you give it to the white people, then you're left with 80%. Take that 80%, you minus it. No, my math's not matching. It stays 90 because it's 100. It's a 10. Okay, the 90%, right? You subtract the another 10. Then that 10, you divide that into two. You give 5% to the Indian people, you give 5% to the colored people. Then from that 80% you have, you take 2%, and then you'll be left by 78%. Then you have 2% that goes to which people, the most people that people are blindly overseeing, which is the Khoisan and the San people. You give it to them. How is it that in the country so big, only the people that are like 10% of the population have the most every access to every what you call this resource that you can find here? Like the way I see it, right? What what's his name? Mr. Julius Malema says, let's get back the land, kill the Boer. What his frustration is that what I'm talking about now, that how can a country so big lack so much resources, but you have people that are like 10% of the population that are owning almost the whole entire of South Africa, which is crazy, right? They the people that's in business. They have inherited businesses that were created by the blood and the tears of the black population and the colored and the Indian population, right? So my thing is that we have democracy, right? But we do not have democracy at all. We just have political freedom, but we don't have freedom because you will go to university and study further and graduate. But guess what? When you're looking for a job, you're not going to get a job. It's going to be very rare that you find a job. And the people that is 10%, they don't need to, most of them, not all of them, most of them, they don't need to go to job interviews. Why? Their family has them. You go work at my company, you boost the family's generational welfare. Okay, no, I'll talk to your uncle John. Johnny, we'll hook you up with work. No, I'll go to your aunt Andre or Corbus, whoever. They'll hook you up with work. You wanna be a farm boy? It's okay. I know your uncle Jacob or Jacob. He owns land. He can give you 30%. Boom. There, that other person starts another business that produces fruit and veggies to be sold to South African market. There you have work. generational welfare, but yet we still say that we have freedom. Where is the financial freedom? Where is the resources that is supposed to be better in this country? That's just my thought. That's my 10 cents on that. I'll leave you on that. Thank you, colleagues.
Yeah, wow. That is pro. Wow, like wow, my brother. You've articulated everything. Like I can attest on that. I can just give my view to add on what you just said, you know. So now we need the political mind in this regard. Why the 10% own the means of production? Eh, So yeah, I don't know. Since I don't see any hand, I think we can just proceed on the theories about